Step one, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step two, get some good, some food in you. Step three, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step four, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Good morning, and welcome to Good Morning Crypto, where we turn your early hours in the morning into your edge in financial freedom. Today, I've got a few headlines. One of them touches on some more Solana ETF talks. And then my other article is about Japan's data that came out last night. And it looks like it's coming in as a higher potential for some rate hikes for Japan coming in December. So we'll have to talk that out once we get to it. But let's dive on in and get you prepped for some success today. We've got NVIDIA, which is sitting up 0.53 from yesterday. Made a little bit of gains. In the pre-market, it's sitting down 0.37%. We've got Apple, which was sitting down just a little bit, down 0.21. We've got it sitting up just a tiny bit in the pre-market, up 0.17% right now. Berkshire Hathaway making some gains off of yesterday, sitting up in the pre-market as well, off of the 0.69 yesterday. It is up 0.19 in the pre-market. Got Amazon, which is sitting down. It's kind of interesting to see how much Amazon has been struggling, considering that it's getting to that time of year where people start ordering some gifts for the holiday season. It's sitting down 2.22% right now, and it is down 0.05% in the pre-market. Got Walmart sitting up 1.39% from yesterday. Eli Lilly's down off of its gains from the day before. You got the rest of that sector looking pretty nice, though. Nice and green. But Eli Lilly is sitting down 0.83% in the pre-market on top of its 0.46% loss yesterday. We've got ExxonMobil, which is doing pretty nicely off of some good oil data that we had got the other day. And it is sitting up down 0.15% in the pre-market right now. We did get some very, very nice data on propane. I know that's not something a lot of people focus on, but it is that time of year where people use a lot of propane to end up heating their houses. So that kind of boosts the sector during this time of the year. We got Tesla, which was sitting down 0.7% from yesterday. It is up 0.15% right now in the pre-market. We got the technology services that were getting hit a little bit hard. Microsoft's down 0.63% in the pre-market. It is down 0.15%, so continuing that trend. We got Google, which was down a little bit bigger, down 4.74%, and it is almost down a whole percent in the pre-market right now. We've got Meta that's just sitting down 0.43%, and in the pre-market is sitting down 0.31% right now. So the rest of that sector is looking a little bit green, and overall the market's looking decently green. We've just got the big seven, which is kind of sitting down right now. You've got Amazon sitting down, Tesla sitting down, Google sitting down, Microsoft sitting down, Meta sitting down, Apple sitting down, and NVIDIA is the only one that is green out of that big seven. For the crypto side of things, we're looking pretty green in your top market cap projects. Like Bitcoin is sitting up 0.62%, Ethereum's down 0.4%. Just a little bit. Looks like it's down 0.5% right now. I definitely had my eyes on some more upside for Ethereum. There's some nice targets around that 3,650 range to 3,700 range. So might have to take a look at that Ethereum chart today. Got Solana sitting up 1.06%. XRP making massive moves, up 17.08% at $1.45. We've got Dogecoin sitting up just a little bit, up 1.98%. Struggling to get to that 40 cent point again. We've got BNB up 0.37. We've got Cardano sitting up pretty nice as well. It is up 9.82% right now. I got a message last night from one of my buddies. Back in October, I had told him to take a look at Cardano, and I think beginning of the year, he had ended up buying some. And he was like, "Hey, look at this!" Sends me a little screenshot of his portfolio. I was like, "Good job, man." So, what else are you gonna invest in now? We've got SWE sitting down 0.99%. We've got Toncoin sitting up 0.54. Got Avalanche sitting up 0.65% right now. Got Tron sitting up 0.7. Got Chainlink making some moves as well to the upside, back to that 15 and 32 cent range. Probably going to have to take a look at that chart too, because I had talked about it the other day when I did some TA, and it looks like we're right at that point where we might make a move. We got Stellar Lumens making some big gains. It's been a while since I've seen Stellar up in the higher point on your market cap, and it is up 13.62% right now. So overall, pretty green on the crypto side of things as well. Just a few outliers. We've got some light data coming out today for the United States. Got the S&P Global Composite PMI flash. It's not a heavy market mover, just a light market mover. We also have the Michigan Consumer Sentiment. It will not be a heavy market mover either. Just something for you to use to gauge kind of how the economy is. I know that Japan will heavily be looking at this data, especially when they got the data that they got last night. They had a PMI flash coming in a little bit under what they wanted to see on the manufacturing side of things. For their composite, though, was looking a little bit up. So a little bit of mixed data coming from Japan last night at 7:30 Eastern time. Other than that, nothing really heavy on the data side of things for today. So could really leave the market open to kind of move things in the direction that they've been heading, to the upside. Let me end up checking out the fear and greeds. We got that stock heat map, the stock fear and greed sitting up a point. Still neutral. Not really neutral. Sitting at 58 and greed. Just light greed though. So this crypto one though is kind of crazy. We are up 12 points and to extreme greed right now. Really looking for that local topping signal that gives us a little bit of sideways movement for maybe a week or so, or maybe a little bit longer. We are in a bullish trend though, so seeing extreme greed on here is nothing too crazy. I would just still like to see that cooldown on it to let people know that the sell-off isn't that crazy. If we can kind of move sideways in the range that I've been looking at, which is that above $100,000, if we can create some nice support there, stay in that range for a week or so, we could bring that fear and greed down a little bit, get the market less ready to have a sell-off, and keep some money flowing in, because it lets people know that people aren't so ready to sell off at these psychological numbers that we're about to cross, as I talked about yesterday. $100,000 is looking very plausible in November. We'll have to take a look at the chart and kind of see if that's going to be today or not. we've got a bunch of liquidity to the top side of us, sitting at that 98,000 mark. This is the Binance chart. It kind of has been stacking up to that top side, and that's really been what is driving that liquidity to continue going up. We've been squeezing out all those shorts over and over and over again, and people just keep trying to short it. You know, we haven't really got that signal that we're heading super far down, and they just keep trying. It moves up, they try to short it. It moves up, they try to short it. It moves up, they try to short it, and they're going against a trend, and they continue to lose. We do have a little bit of liquidity to the bottom side of us on a daily chart at 97.25 range. So that's going to be most of the liquidity to the bottom side for the heavy spot. We do have some lighter liquidity sitting below us at the 98,000 to the 97.75 range. So just something to keep in mind on the liquidity. It's basically all to the top side of us, besides this one little outlier at 97,000. Let me hop over to the Bitcoin chart real quick and zoom it on out to that daily view. You know, things have been looking pretty nice on that daily chart for Bitcoin. Money flow still massively positive. We have the prime oscillator, which is now light red, and really signaling that some more upside movement is potentially coming our way. That's why I've been thinking that that $100,000 mark is going to get hit before the end of November. You do have your MACD, which is kind of back to that looking like it could go indecisive, but for the most part is looking to the upside. So just ignoring all of these signals that we could really send things back to the bottom side, and really looking at that upside target. People are super excited for that $100,000 mark, and I think we're going to hit it very, very soon. Let's zoom it on in just a little bit. Take a look at that 4-hour chart. You can kind of see here your money flow went red for a little while. More of a sideways move here in that red segment, where we ended up hitting on one of my lower side targets yesterday. We do have this fair value gap that I had drawn from the 1-hour chart, and the midline, which was 96, about 96.1, which I had called for as a potential bouncing point. And if we ended up losing that, coming on down to this 50% line on a Fibonacci extension, we came within $100 of that before we moved on up above the golden pocket. It looks like we might try to turn that golden pocket into some support before we continue to the upside. Just gonna have to see how this money flow goes, because on your higher term time frames, it is still very green. It is still looking very positive. But if you zoom it on in just a little bit more, you can kind of see here that with this money flow on the hourly, it's looking just a little bit red. It's not heavy red, so not heavy selling pressure or anything like that, but definitely enough selling pressure that we could come on down to this golden pocket and really turn it into some support here. We broke above it back here. That would have been yesterday, and ended up pulling on back down. We kind of made some touches here on top of that golden pocket on the extension. We didn't turn it into a really heavy support area. That's not something that we necessarily have to do. This is a bullish trend. Sometimes price points get ignored, and we save that for the way back down. Or it's something that when we break up extremely high and we get that massive correction of, say, 20%, we end up bouncing off of that point. So we'll just have to leave that target open if we just continue on to the upside. It's really going to depend on this money flow here on your lower term time frames. You got it looking a little bit red on the hourly. Your MACD's looking at that point where it's a little indecisive. Could definitely go to the downside, but could very easily just be a cooling off. And with the cooling off, see a little bit of a bounce down here at that 97,600 range before a continuation. Let me zoom it on in just a little bit more. Take a look at that 15-minute chart, which really shows you the moves that you might see in a few hour time frame. You've got that MACD, which is on the bottom side of things. It is looking to kind of cross your indicator line in the negative side. So the money flows looking a little red too. You do have your prime oscillator, which has some divergences on it, and is green, but is kind of more pointing to the downside, which is definitely something that's got me potentially looking at a quick lower low here, especially if people use that PMI flash coming out a little bit later in the morning to kind of move that market down to scoop up some prices that we might not see for a long time. So my big target to the bottom side is that 97,600 range before we move on up to that $100,000 mark. I don't know if we get on up to the $100,000 mark today, but it's definitely plausible if we see some liquidity coming in that changes this from red. On your 15-minute, it is light red, so could very easily be swinging back to the green on shorter time frames very quickly after a quick move to the downside. Let me hop on into chat this morning. I see my favorite people in here who are loyally show up every single day. We got Kyle Fields in here saying, yo, Darren does things with the wake up. Today's going to be a good day. Yes, it is. It's Friday. I'm definitely glad that this week is almost over. We've got Anthony Soprano in here with the good morning all. Bobby Yaz in here. Good morning. We've got all set. Good morning, BC, DDT, and Anthony Soprano. We've got Alexander G, the mod queen, saying good morning, BC Port Corp. And good morning, all set. And good morning, Anthony Soprano. She said, I'm listening in. Have a great Friday. You too, Alexandra G. She also said, smash that like button. We've got Darren Does Things saying CME hit 100K earlier, lol. Yes, I mean, there is some discrepancies in where you're trading at. So definitely could be really seeing that 100K. There is, you have, this is the trading view chart of all of Bitcoin. It's topped out at that 99.5 range. You've got your big, this is perpetual on Blowfin. It topped out at about 99.4. You've got your Coinbase chart, which hit 99.56. You've got Bitstamp, which hit 99.5. So you've got this is Binance, which hit a little bit lower. So there is some discrepancies in the prices per exchange. So really looking for that 100K to kind of be hit, and looking very plausible if we can turn this into some quick support and have heavy liquidity come in and grab this price point here at 97,000 and shoot it on up. Because I don't think we'll see that price again for quite a while. Let me hop over to this article I had seen. It's VanEck and 21 shares file for Solana ETF listings as CBO on CBOE as momentum builds. We've got VanEck and 21 shares are intensifying efforts to introduce Solana-focused ETFs in the US. You do have some ETFs that are in Brazil for Solana and a few other countries as well. So it could definitely happen. I think there's going to be a slight battle on it. Uh, the firms filed their proposal with the Chicago Board of Options Exchange, CBOE, following earlier applications with the Securities and Exchange Commission. Filing with the CBOE signals progress as the exchange plays a crucial role in ensuring these ETFs meet regulatory and operational standards before market listing. Solana's ETF movement grows despite challenges. In total, CBOE just filed for 4 Solana ETFs, one for VanEck, 21 shares, Canary Capital, and Bitwise. The ball is in the SEC's court now, Seyfarth noted. And it marks a significant development in cryptocurrency investment offerings, with the proposed ETF classified as a commodity-based trust shares under Rule 14.11(e)(4). This filing now awaits the SEC's formal acceptance. CBOE's move to list the 4 Solana ETFs highlights its commitment to the expanded cryptocurrencies product offerings. The proposal aligns with the exchange's efforts to integrate digital assets into traditional markets, with VanEck, 21 shares, Bitwise, and Canary Capital at the forefront. The introduction of Solana ETFs could enhance the blockchain's visibility and adoption. If successful, these filings could bolster Solana's standings in the cryptocurrency ecosystem, potentially driving liquidity and influencing broader market trends. According to Bin Crypto data, Solana's powering token is up by almost 10% amid ETF optimism. As of this writing, Sol was trading for 259.2. I know we've kind of broken that point, and we hit some new highs on Solana. VanEck and 21 shares had previously filed applications for Solana ETFs with the SEC in June 2024, one after the other. These initial filings laid the groundwork for the recent CBOE applications, signaling a progression towards regulatory approval. Filing with the CBOE BZX exchange represents a critical step as the exchange reviews compliance and operational standards before any potential listings. Solana ETF's hopes now rest with the US SEC. If the SEC formally accepts the proposals, a decision could come as early as August 2025. Approval would provide investors with new opportunities to access Solana-related assets through ETFs, potentially increasing the blockchain's market influence. If the SEC acknowledges it, it will be around early August. Meanwhile, Solana continues to draw attention to its speed and scalability as a high-performance blockchain. Major institutions' interest for firms such as VanEck, 21 shares, Bitwise, and Canary Capitals reflects growing confidence in this potential. Bitwise recently filed its S1 registration form with the SEC, coming a day after the firm filed to establish a trust entity for the proposed fund in Delaware. And this kind of just continues on this optimism side for things. Doesn't really touch into how any more of the potential for it. It's more of the hopium of it. But I think they're going to run across a lot of hurdles. As we saw earlier this week, there was a massive headline about a kid rugging his community and then getting basically DDoSed on the internet and made memes of his entire family. And these are some of the things that are built on Solana that are really going to have Solana struggling to have institutional adoption. Yes, they're fast. Yes, they move a lot of USDC. But when you have a lot of crap that is built on top of your network that takes basically zero barrier to entry, then these are things that your traditional investors don't really want to see. And it's also something that if Gary Gensler is going to still be the chair of the SEC, is going to be a hurdle. You do have a lot of the SEC that kind of thinks along the same lines as Gary as well. And unless you get a crazy replacement for him, then the decision really wouldn't be that much different. And this is where there's been talks about a crypto-centric government office that regulates these things. This is where this would be a necessary aspect. You know, if you want retail adopt, yes, I don't want like heavy regulation on crypto, but if you do want your retail investors to feel safe, if you do want your TradFi to come on in, which is something that we've all been waiting for, then you need some safety in the market. You need these rug pulls to not be a thing. No one's going to invest. Be like, okay, well, I got this Solana. Now, what do I do with it? Oh, I can throw it at this. I can put it on this. I can put it on this. But if they don't feel safe using your community to try to make more money off of it, or there's no actual utility off of it, then what's the point of having that besides just moving USDC around? And it's a big potential, but I also want to see if there's an ETF, if Solana can even handle some of that, because Solana likes to have outage issues. So just something to keep in mind. It looks like a decision could possibly be made on Solana for an ETF coming here in August. So let me take a look at chat. I see it's really going crazy here. I saw Crypto Billion here. Good morning. Good morning. We've got Wick 589. Good seeing you again, Anthony. He says, "Hey, Jesse, let's scroll up a little bit more." We got Sean Stevens in here with a good morning. Username asking, what's a BC Big Turkey Day plans? Well, I am taking a vacation next week. I'll kind of have to see how the show, how I can do the show. It might be a little bit more of a simple show because I'd be on my tablet and just doing a little bit of talking. Instead, some shorter shows in the morning, but I think me and LBC might do a Turkey Day stream. So I'll have to get in touch with him this weekend and see how that goes. I've been wanting to take my girl to Pikes Peak because she's never been there, and this was a great opportunity for that. Sean Stevens says, what do you think of Chill Guy? Is that a project? You'll have to let me know in the chat. Wick 589 just woke up to confirm XRP won't stop. Yes, it's on a tear. And after I talked a bit of crap about XRP, but it was in a large consolidation phase, and consolidation phases can go either way. I think Trump has definitely helped bolster that XRP sentiment, especially with his wants for more American cryptos to kind of take center stage in this market. We've got the Dusty Hunt in here with the good morning. We've got Crypto Billy. Good morning. Good morning. Username, what date on them to be approved? That's going to be the potentially August of 2025. Jesse Gulak, my ADA is pumping hard again. Yes, that's where one of my buddies messaged me last night, and he was like, I'm up just a little bit, and I was like, maybe throw more at it. It looks like it's gonna do some more. So definitely getting a little bit of some moves on ADA after it's been doing nothing this bull run so far. Didn't even manage to break out of ranges, and now it's on a tear, looking pretty nice. Wick 589, BC certainly does have a beard that makes me jealous. I'm very proud of my beard. I I take very good care of it. So thank you for that. I gave up a long time ago. Shaving is just such a hassle, and it's actually cheaper for me to just buy some beard product. I don't know if anyone has any assets that they'd like me to take a look at, but I could definitely take a look at a few assets. I've got about 15 minutes before I need to wind down the show. I did have another article that I would like to take a look at, and it touched on the Japanese data that came out last night. Japan services gain, but factory slip in November PMI report. Japan's service sector swung to modest expansion in November, but the manufacturing industry edged slightly deeper into a slowdown, reported S&P Global on Friday. The Japan Flash Composite Purchasing Managers Index (PMI) rose 49.8 in November from 49.6 in October, but still struck below the 50 marker that the separatist growth from the contraction reported at S&P Global, citing its monthly survey. The composite PMI is a combination of Japan's service and manufacturing sectors. Japan services PMI rose to 50.2 in November from 49.7 in October, inching back into the expansion zone. However, Japan's manufacturing PMI declined to 49.0 in November from 49.4 in October, pointing towards continuing, if modest, contraction in the industrial sector. And this is something that Japan's been looking at for those continued rate hikes. Japan's service sector was hiring in November, but factory managers lightened payrolls, which was another thing that they've been looking at for a rate hike. According to the monthly report, Japan's manufacturing sector in November was again hit by a decline in new orders, even as input cost inflation increased, said S&P Global. Rises in raw material prices were mentioned by survey respondents. Manufacturing in Japan in November worked through backlogs, but were still saddled with excess capacity, added S&P Global. On the service side, the sector experienced capacity constraints and boosted hiring in November, but also noted that some input cost inflation pressures. Service providers raised prices to consumers at a historically rapid rate. The flash Japan PMIs were compiled by S&P Global from survey responses sent to 400 manufacturers and 400 service providers from November 12th through November 20th. And this is something that people in Japan have been wanting to kind of see for the next rate hike decision. Their big thing was the wages and kind of the manufacturing. And you're seeing both of those slow down. Your services are kind of picking up, but the pickup looks to be in raised prices and not in actual increase of services. So this is a continued weakening of the Japan economy, and is definitely signaling some signs that December rate hike is heading our way. And we all know what happened last time. We saw some dumpage off of that, and I think that's when we end up seeing some of that pullback on Bitcoin. Could definitely end up also being that thing that cools down that fear and greed. So let's see. Wick 589, Billy Fire, that's commitment. BC might have an opinion again about holding XRP to 10, but I'm telling you from where I work, even if it isn't XRP, speculating in the right area. I see Chill Guy is a meme coin. I will see if I can find it on there. Got Ben Kronk saying Metis. Wick 589, CDGB. No one else asked for it, but it should have been. Let's see. Crypto Billy, use Dex chart QUBY on the Sol. Use Dex screener for TA. Woke up and it was 10 Sol. Meme crap coin, degen, but what a move last night. I took my profit. I just launched a Switch 2 and PS6. Oh, yeah, that would definitely help Japan on that manufacturing. I'm only seeing Chill Guy for a potential request. We do have some more talking about there, and the meme markets. And I know it's definitely a way to make some money. I don't really like it. I've never been a fan of memes. I have never held a meme in my entire crypto career. I am in here for more of the long term, and that is what I invest in. I don't really sell the cycles. I did sell some last cycle, but mostly I held. I hold my Bitcoin, I hold my Ethereum, and I just end up adding to these bags. So I do see TIA, AVAX, another Celestia, and Near. So let's take a look at these things. Let's see, AVAX. Here we go. AVAX on a decent little tear here. It's been I think it's been a little while since I've looked at it. We kind of saw some resistance here on your 50% line on a fib retracement. Let's zoom it on out to a 4-hour chart to kind of get some higher time frame views. As you can kind of see here, we do have heavy money flow coming in on AVAX, and looking to kind of move into ranges that we haven't been to in quite a while. You do have some points right here above us where we saw heavy selling pressure. It looks like that we might blast on through that range though. Let me get that line drawn out across the way so that it's kind of coming where we can see it on our current time frames. Extend to the right there. And we have another one kind of here where we could also see some resistance there. So let's lock that one, and move it on over sideways so we can take a look here. As you can see, your MACD is pointing very high to the upside. You do have some divergences that are kind of playing out here. Kind of depends where we see this topping signal, this top out on this push to the upside, but this is pretty equal highs here at that 50% line on the retracement. You do have your money flow coming in extremely green. You do have some overbought signals here, but looking to push up to this $39, $40 range, and maybe create some support here as a cool off. We could easily come up to this next range here on the way to your 382 that is sitting there above us at that 43. Looking for a few bounces along the way though, create some support at some old levels that were resistance on the way down. That 41.63 would be a nice point to also either see some slight rejection and a pullback to this lower point in the range before a continuing on that. Let me zoom it on in just a little bit, see how that hourly chart's looking. Looking like that MACD's extremely pointed to the upside. Your money flow is kind of slowed down just a little bit, but it's still very green on that hourly chart. Let's kind of see what the morning might show for some AVAX on the 15-minute. You do see the money flow looking extremely green. Looking like we might see a little bit of some cool off here. You did get some reversal signals. I would wait for a second reversal signal here before confirming a real move to the downside. Your MACD is still kind of pointed up, but is at that point where it could start seeing a little bit of curvature there, and potentially just a slight pullback. You do have some points here where all of this is kind of a fair value gap on a higher time frame, so could easily come back and test some of that. Let me zoom it on out there and kind of see where that fair value gap lies. We haven't even ended up closing that fair value gap. You do have one candle. Let me move it on up to the right thing. Draw that rectangle out for you. This whole candle is a fair value gap, whose midline lies right there on that 50% retracement. So something to see for a bouncing point if we do end up pulling back would be turning this 50% line into heavy support before moving on up. You do have the midway of that fair value gap as well. Let's see. We had TIA asked to be looked at. Let me see where TIA is on my list. I know it's here somewhere. There it is. It's been a while since I've looked at TIA. It's gotten some updates on its blockchain and has been kind of doing all right since then. It's stayed in a range, not losing too much strength on anything, as you can kind of see here since its update back, I believe it was back in September, maybe a little bit earlier in August. We've seen a range that has been holding pretty nicely. We did have that $5.36 being some slight support here, and we ended up breaking below it for quite a while. And then moving back up here, I'd kind of look at reclaiming some of these higher levels here. We do have a point right above us that was heavy resistance at $5.90. Money flows extremely green on this 4-hour chart. It looks like it's going to continue to broaden as well. People taking advantage of some of these altcoin plays. You know, TIA is a very strong project. It's got a lot of utility as well. So definitely a point above if we can really turn this into some support at that 590 point, which about a 30-cent move there would be above us at this $6.30. $6.28 would be the point that I'd really want to see moved above and turned into some support there. If not, we will most likely see another rejection on TIA. Let me look at the daily chart. Definitely looking very nice there. You do have a little bit of selling pressure here in this range, but you can kind of see here we're making higher lows. We're making we're looking like we might make a higher high here. These are pretty equal, so it's very likely to get taken out, considering that this money flow is extremely green on a daily chart as well. You have this prime oscillator, which just ticked to the green and is looking to the upside. Your MACD just crossed the zero line, looking to the positive side of things. So might see that $5.90 mark be a little point where we make some support. We'll probably break above it just a little bit, come back down, test that as support, and then move on up to this $6.28 range. And that would be the move that I would look for on TIA. We did have Near requested as well. One of my favorite projects. Been doing very, very well. It's been a very easy thing to trade here. As you can kind of see, golden pocket plays out a lot. Likes to come back down to that. Come on up. Come down to the golden pocket. It really likes to retest those fair value gaps as well. Let me zoom it on in. You can kind of see we've got that money flow looking very green on a daily, but looking like we could see a little bit of a retracement on the daily chart with how the prime oscillator is set. It's at an indecision point. Your MACD is looking very indecisive as well, and the money flow looking like it's kind of halting there on the inflows. Let's see what a 4-hour chart brings us on near. Kind of set to either cross the midline on your MACD or end up pulling back down. You do have your money flow, which is very, very, very light green, so nothing heavy on those inflows. You do have this point that was an old resistance point here at 560, which we are kind of looking to turn into some support here before we end up moving back up to this 50% line sitting at $5.92. It has been a point that we haven't been able to maintain. I would really want to see that turned into some support here before we blast on up to the $6.50 range that we haven't been to in quite a while. Let's see what an hourly chart is showing us on some of the money flow. And yep, that money flow is looking a little bit red on an hourly chart. Could easily break below this for the shorter term time frame as we wait for some people to kind of buy up that near. We do have these equal lows that are sitting back here, sitting at that $5.30 range, which has been something I've talked about. $5.30 being a good local point on near currently to make a move off of. As you can kind of see here, this $5.30 range back here ended up being that point that we bounced off of and got massive moves on up. Again, back here, we saw it being some resistance. So hitting on down at this 530 mark 3 times, a little bit of a triple bottom with some equal lows. Could definitely be taken out and then moving on up to the upside on that. The 15-minute chart is looking a little red on that money flow. You have your prime oscillator, which is kind of set to show some reversal signals. Your MACD is also at that point where it could start to get a little indecisive. So $5.30 would be my low side target on near before looking at some higher prices. We do have some potential resistance here at the $6.22 mark. If we end up moving to that upside, above that, I'd look at that $6.50 point on near. Let me see what the chat's saying right now before I end up winding things down. I do have to end up heading out to work today. Got a little bit of things that I do gotta do. We have Crypto Billy saying tracking, Jesse Gulek in here. We've got Buck in here. Good morning, good morning. DDT username saying DDT worth the risk. Waiting on your call, sir. I'm not sure what that was too. We have LBC in here this morning. Good morning, sir. Crypto Billy saying Jesse knows. I'm not sure what. Probably on his bought more ADA today comment. Yes, I definitely told one of my buddies to buy last night when he was showing me his ADA bags. So thank you to everyone that showed up today. I appreciate it every single day. It means a whole lot. If you haven't hit that like button, I definitely appreciate that one too. It's a free way to support the channel. If you aren't subscribed and you're new here, I did see a new name in here. Go ahead and hit that subscription button. We do have 3 other shows right now that come on. There's the morning market report with OC Guy and TradeFly should be on today because it's Friday. And then of course Piper with the morning market report at 9:30 Eastern time at morning market open. Monday through Thursday, we do have TradeFly and FD White with their crypto nightcap show, which is at 8:30 p.m. That's Monday through Thursday, bringing out a nice little hard-hitting show before that, right before that Asia Open. You do have Lunar Beaches Crypto in here as well. He's in the chat. He does the late night show called Markets After Dark, and that's coming on Sunday night through Thursday, 11 p.m. Eastern Time. And we do have another show that is going to be starting next week with Trade Intuition with the Trade Academy. So if you want the alpha all day long, go ahead and hit that subscription button and click the notification button too, so you get to know, because we go live a lot. If you haven't checked out our Discord either, that's another place to really get that alpha all day long. We're always in that Discord. We are always bringing alpha. And if you have questions, that's a great place to ask them. Other than that, I hope everyone has an amazing Friday. It's going to be a great day. There's potential for some big side moving. So everyone wake up. Today's going to be a good day.